let's talk it from the beginning, sis. Tell us about growing up in Philly, some early influences. Let's take it there.
Sure. So early influences, let's see. So again, born and raised Philadelphia, never left. I grew up kind of in a university city area. Philadelphia, we got some great colleges, Drexel, UPenn. So I grew up not too far from there. Two working class parents. So my dad, again, he was an electrician, but he started off being an electrician at Amoroso's, then started working for the city of Philadelphia, the water department. My mom's a nurse. So I always had like healthcare in the back of my pocket. I didn't want to be a doctor or a nurse or any of that, because I just can't stomach blood or pain or any of those things. But I'm pretty much of a nerd. I always got kind of like straight A's and really learning about, healthcare through being around my mom and understanding the different drugs and, the different ways to help patients and human beings. So that is kind of how I grew up. Also grew up in a Muslim household. So back in the 80s, it was fun being the only Muslim girl on the block in the hood, going to an Islamic school, all garbed up, getting, teased and jokes. And then my parents did something really, I would say, terrifying at the time. They took us out of a Islamic school and put us dead in a Catholic school. So it was
education is real, the education.
Talk about a culture shock.
It was two culture shocks, because one of the Islamic school was all black. Like I had my first taste of black excellence from kindergarten. Like teachers black, principal was black, and we had homework 7 days a week. Like we were learning Arabic, English, we knew everything about like the black history from Africa, like Islamically, so we were set up for success. And then they flipped the script and put us in an all-white Catholic school.
Ave Maria.
Hated it.
Songs in the church. I was there.
Which I understood. They were all about the education. So, growing up in the urban area of Philadelphia, public schools back then, my parents were like, no, we're investing in your education. This is the, best next option, from the Islamic school to the Catholic school. It also taught me diversity at a really young age, coming in, being at the top of my class, getting my first like racist or whatever. You go from getting teased by like one set of kids, then you go get teased by another set of kids for a whole different reason. But good, I had some diversity in getting teased. So that's what and then I went to high school at Overbrook High, where Will Smith went. So that's where I kind of tie back to getting that Fresh Princess, growing up in West Philly, going to school in West Philly. And then now I'm here in healthcare marketing, never really left Philadelphia, just grew my roots here.
I like it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got a question. And I really have this question now because you brought this up, and I really want to understand this, right? When we are children and we don't really truly understand the power of education, right? And what it really means to be educated. But as adults now, we look at things completely different because we have more information. You said that you were in a predominantly all black school for Muslims, and then your parents decided to switch you over to a Catholic school. Now, I'm just trying to figure out, now that you've been to both schools, what did you learn differently in the Catholic school that you felt like if you would have stayed in the Muslim school that they wouldn't have taught you? Did you learn anything different, or was it a different curriculum or something? I'd really like to know that.
It was a different curriculum, especially for both. You get taught religious studies. So from an Islamic perspective, you understand the central point, though, was the prophet Jesus. So in Islam, Jesus is a prophet, and a Catholic, Jesus is part of the Holy Trinity. So read the Bible, from front to back. That was all kind of more of the especially the Old Testament. I would say that was probably the biggest difference, is just like better understanding the differences. I actually felt more empowered coming into the Catholic school, knowing my background. So I'm like, okay, and I truly absorbed it and was immersed in it. So it's so funny. I liked it so much at the time. I think in like 7th or 8th grade, I was like, I want to become a Catholic. Like,
wow.
I was gonna ask that, like, yo, you start questioning things, and
I wanted to be a nun. I was like, well, I want to be a nun. I was like, because our principal at the time, she was a nun, like, so she like took me under her wing and stuff like that. So it was funny. Like for a minute, I was like, oh, I want to be a nun. I was very, very intrigued by just the history and some of the similarities of like just the love for a higher being. So
I love that. And I'm glad you said that, because we talk about the power of decision making on this show so much.
Right.
We talk about the power of the parents being involved in the child's life and the power of their decision making shaping a child's existence, so 100%. To speak. And think about that decision. They obviously made the decision to raise you in a Muslim household. You had no choice on that, right? So they introduce you to a religion that you become fully immersed in. And then let's say halfway through your education, they switch it, and the impact is so transformative that you're almost willing to convert from one religion to another.